welcome everyone to the Soul Streets. Of course, I'm your boy G Waters. I'm so excited. This episode, we have the one and only, the legendary Miss Valerie Simpson on Soul Streets. This is an honor. Welcome to the show.
Hey, you know I'd be here for you.
Oh man, I know you would, but it was a matter of when and when, like you said, when you had something to talk about,
Right.
and we have a lot to talk about because you have two shows coming up, December 14th. At South Orange, the theater there in South Park,
Right.
Orange, New
So
Jersey.
back.
Yes, yes. And then you have December 21st at Sony Hall.
Indeed.
So I mean, you are getting the holidays in, huh?
I think so. I figure we all need some music right in through here to make us feel a little better.
That is a fact. That's a fact. And I already know because I saw the last one you did at Sony Hall, and that was fabulous. And I will be seeing this one as well. So excited to have you back on stage. I can't wait to see all the surprises that you're gonna have. Because I know you said it's Ashton and Simpson and friends. So
Indeed.
Is it gonna be new? Is it gonna be new friends that we have?
New friends, yeah, new friends. I really changed the band up quite a bit.
Okay.
And surprises will be there for you as well.
Nice.
Some you haven't seen in a long time will be showing up. And I'll have different surprise guests on the 14th and the 21st. So you can come see the show twice.
Yeah, okay. So it's gonna be two different experiences, but the same feeling.
Yeah.
Well, we like that.
The songs change when the special guest changes.
True. Oh, yeah, true. Because so many songs that could be done and can be changed because you got it going on like that, and we appreciate it. So now, since we got that out the way, you are from the BX, the Bronx.
Yeah.
And what was it like? Because I hear so much about how it was growing up in the South and how they had to do it, how they had to do things in the South and get things going. But I never really got a chance to speak to anyone who's successful in my eyes that came from my town, the BX. So, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't hear that story often, or at all. So what was the journey like for you coming up in the Bronx?
Well, it was easy in the sense that most of my music was done from school. I started in school playing the piano and getting out of class.
Okay.
Because I had to play for somebody's show. And then the next thing I knew, through the church, I was able to actually start a career. So it was pretty easy. The Bronx was just like a treadmill to get me to where I needed to go.
Okay, so you had aspirations as a child to be in music?
No, not at all. It just happened to me. It fell in my lap. I didn't even know there was a salary to be made just, from singing background and playing songs, So, that was a big surprise. And I didn't know anything about songwriting. So it just happened to me. It was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I tell you what was really strange was that both my grandmothers had pianos and nobody could play them. So I think it was supposed to happen that I could play by ear, and I had two pianos I could practice on.
Wow. So what do you remember what age you was when you started playing?
I was about 5.
Wow. You remember you was playing gospel songs or just?
Well, I could play anything. I just had the gift to play by ear. So okay. I was really blessed in that way. And because I was able to do that, I started playing for my grandmother's church as well. So that helped me because, when you sing in church, a lot of the singers aren't really professional. They'll change the key on you, move over to another thing or get happy, and you got to catch them. So I learned a lot. That was a great training ground for me.
Yeah, I bet. Because and you get to hear a lot of different types of tones, all kind of keys in the church.
And you got to follow.
And God be in control, so He makes sure everything works out at the end of the day.
Indeed.
Who are some of the artists that you listen to coming up that helped you along the way?
Well,
inspiration wise,
because I played, I loved like Nina Simone, who was a great pianist.
Okay.
And Aretha, because she was a great pianist who could sing. She doesn't get that much credit for her playing, but she was a great piano player. And I really liked her playing and singing. So I followed them very strongly. And it was great that I became friends with them later on in life when I got in the business.
I know. Is Did you ever get a chance to work with Aretha?
Well, through our songs, yes, we did. We were, she would come to shows, and she invited us to perform for her 65th birthday, Nick and I. And also, anytime she was doing a show and we were in the audience, she would call us up,
Okay.
and she'd call up and ask for a tune or something.
Well, I've seen you at many of Diana Ross's concerts coming up, and you've given her some of the best songs of the era of this music in general. You know, this overall, like, her music catalog is crazy, and you all contributed to one of the best albums I think she's ever recorded, and one of the best albums I've ever heard, The Boss.
Oh, wow.
What was that experience like, that process? Because one of my favorite songs is All for One. That song has really inspired me to just be who I am today as a songwriter and just as a creative. So what was that process creating that album? Because I know you had worked with her prior to that album as well, right?
Well, that was another stepping out process for her, because she was leaving Motown. The first time she was leaving the Supremes is when we got her for the first album. But this time she was leaving Motown. And so she was really getting ready to do her own thing, which is why we came up with songs like The Boss and It's My House, and, stuff that would empower her, to speak with authority. And she was great about it. People underestimate, what a wonderful singer she was. It is,
Y'all made us, she was hitting some notes in them songs.
We always would put her in a key that was plenty high, and she had to hit it.
She had to have a lot of water to hit them notes.
Indeed.
What's some of your favorite songs off that album that stands out?
I like No One Gets Surprised.
No One Gets Surprised?
I love that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And one of my other favorite artists that I enjoy, one of my favorite female singers, Miss Stephanie Mills, Keep Away Girls is one of the songs that got me interested in her. That album cover, Tantalizing Hot, was tantalizingly hot. And I saw that, and that Keep Away Girl first single was just amazing to me. What was that experience working with Stephanie?
Stephanie's a wonderful singer, as you well know. And she's very easygoing, and she just gets in there and does it. She feels it right away. You don't have to work hard with her. She's a natural. Right, and this day, she still puts on a great show. And it was a pleasure, really.
I bet it was. Did you know, so many questions I want to ask. I want to make sure I get them all in. With Nick, when did you guys realize that you all would be such a dynamic duo as artists?
Well, we did a soul show. Ellis Hayslip had a show, and he invited us on there, and we were not a couple singing. We just went on and sang our songs and picked a couple of extra songs to sing. And then we got all these letters, and people were like saying, you all should be a duet. Mm-hmm. And that's the first time that we got any recognition as singers. And from there, we kept it in the back of our minds, so that when our contracts were up as writers at Motown, we said, well, maybe it's time now to try it. And Barry said we could try it at Motown, but we didn't believe him. He saw us as writers and producers, and it's very hard to change lanes, once a person has you in their mind one way.
Right.
So we figured we wanted to go somewhere where we'd be the new kids on the block. And so we left and went to Warner's.
Nice. And y'all had an amazing career. Y'all had an amazing career all across the board. You all have just inspired legends. With y'all being legends, you created legends. Like, I interviewed Melba Moore, and she spoke about how you gave her first break. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Singing back. Yeah,
everyone has come through the school of Ashton and Simpson. That has to be, what does that even feel like? Because you all are like New York royalty. You all are New York royalty. Like, everyone has come through. You've done everything from broadcasting, writing, producing, artists, parties. You just...
I tell you, like Maya Angelou told us, eagles fly with eagles. So anybody I reach out to, I'm reaching out because I think you have something that will be of help to me too. So, we want to grow. I don't pick on people who ain't got it. I pick on people who are sure of themselves and I can see something special in them. And we all need applause. I don't care what level you are. You want to hear somebody say, yeah, you got it. Go on, do it. So,
Right.
I'm happy to do that when I see it.
And you've done it over and over and over again. And we thank you so much. And then you created the sugar bar that has just been, you and Nick created, it was his vision and you supported him. And it's become such a staple for us as creatives to meet people, to network, to create opportunity for other people. And it's just been, I mean, that place is church in itself. Like, what is it like having that place as an establishment, just to see talent just come in and out?
Well, I don't know. I'd probably stay at home if I didn't have the sugar bar. At least it gets me out, gives me a place to go, a place to be inspired, a place to hear something fresh, a place where somebody might be discovered. When I think about how many people from that stage have gone to the Broadway stage,
Elizabeth Withers, yeah.
Right, and then even to have Chaz Shepard come in there and say, after he heard me say, I'm going to Broadway, he said, I want to go to Broadway too. And we end up in Chicago at the same time on the Broadway stage.
Wow.
So there is just something in those walls.
It is. And in that food.
Yeah, and the food is good too. Food is
and
good
in the great soup.
But people bring their talents and they leave them there and they just reverberate, and you can feel it.
You definitely can. Is there anything that you look forward to doing in the future that you haven't done? Is there anything else you still want to do musically? Like anyone you want to work with?
To be perfectly honest, I'm working on our story, Ashford and Simpson.
Nice.
It's about time to tell it,
Yes.
and when I start to write it, I realize just how much and how deep it is and how many people I got to include. So it's taking me longer to get it down. But it tickles me that when you're going through all these things, you don't realize it. But this is, I call it many lifetimes within a lifetime.
Right.
So many lifetimes that I've lived through already. So I do want to encourage somebody, who might get something out of it. And the fact that the songs have lasted so long, I had no idea when we first started writing these songs, they'd still be playing. I make more money from them now than I used to. So it's an amazing thing, when I turned on the TV the other day and I'm Every Woman came on, with the Carolina Herrera perfume, and I said, ka-ching, ka-ching, there we go again.
And all the covers and samples, I mean, from Method Man, when he sampled You All I Need to Get By for
and won a Grammy.
Project. What was that called? What was that called? Like, was that an immediate yes, or did you have to do did you have to listen to it? Did you?
Oh, no. It was immediate. That's always immediate, and the beauty is that, it comes up in places that you wouldn't dream. Like right now, Deadpool, Wolverine, You're All I Need closes that movie. I said, what? I don't even go to see those movies. But, ka-ching, ka-ching again. They found something in it that they wanted and they put it at the end of that big, big, big movie. So I'm just blessed. And I said, thank you, Lord. And when I get a blessing, that means I can give a blessing.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? It's a wonderful thing. It really is.
Did you guys ever consider doing a Christmas album? Was that ever a thought, or just that wasn't never anything that you?
Well, I know if you do one, you don't have to do any more. You can just bring it out every year. But we never got around to it. Just never did.
Okay. That's probably the only thing that you haven't done is a Christmas album.
Right.
But it ain't too late.
Never too late.
It ain't too late. So then you came out with your solo project with Silly. What was that time like? Was that a different? So you wasn't a duo at that point when you came out with that single.
No, but I think if Silly had been a huge hit, I think my head would have got big, and I would have got too starved-eyed. You know what I mean? Because what they do is they try to separate you. So they try to
Oh, okay.
fill you up, you know, and Nick went back to smoking after Silly came out. Uh, because you know there can't, and then I realized what was going on, and then you know you kind of learn the game, and I thought it was more important that you know we kept what we were doing going, and I'm so glad we did.
Yeah, but that song still carries, you know, still holds a lot of weight today, even though
Yeah,
it
a
didn't.
lot of people like that song. They didn't buy it, but they like it.
It's like they buying it because 50 Cent sampled it too, didn't he? I believe
Right,
so.
he
Yeah,
sure did. He did say
yeah.
that.
So I mean, that song is still. I mean, your music is just timeless all across the board. Like we're finding songs, and we'll probably continue to find songs, producers to sample and all that good stuff. So are you inspired by any of the new artists coming up today? And if so, who?
You know who Asia turned me on to Will Smith's daughter.
Oh, Willow. Okay.
Yeah, Willow, and I've been listening to her album. I really like it a lot. And then there's another gentleman. I'm trying to remember. Asia, who's on our playlist? We have a kitchen list, we call it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
dance in the kitchen. And yeah, not country. Although we listen to a lot of, I listen to a lot of country. I like the
Okay.
songs. The songs are strong. Um, it'll come to me.
Okay. Are you still currently writing today? Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, it surprises me. I can write a good lyric and I didn't know it.
yeah, I was gonna ask
So
you today because cause Nick wrote a lot of the lyrics.
he wrote
All
just
the
about
lyrics.
all of the lyrics, and I did the music, and we work over the melodies, some of them. But it, you know, it makes me realize that I was cheating, you know, by allowing him to just do it without even thinking about it. When now I realize you know, I have a knack for it, and I can write a good lyric. So I kind of cheated him a little bit.
And it's in you because I mean, y'all. I mean, the grooves are just so groovy. Like, where did you get the inspiration to write such nice grooves? Like, I'm Every Woman, Keep Away Girl. Like those songs, It's My House. Those are like club anthems at the time when they were out. Like there was a rhythm that was going on back then that just kept us all. Well, I was too young, but I was as much as I could. I was dancing as much as I could. But like the M to Me, the Juicy Fruits, and all that song, like y'all had a rhythm back then that was just so contagious. Do you
But
think
yeah,
that rhythm would ever come back?
uh, well, I think there'll always be dance music, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and once you say it's dance music, you know, you got to dance to it.
Right.
So that, you know, they, you know, might put a little bit a different percussion thing on it, but it'll still be there. Like, you know, I always like the fact if when we had a chance to write for somebody in particular, like uh Arif Mardin asked us for a song for Shaka because she was leaving her group,
Mm.
you know. And because she is such a sassy, sexy woman, and I started playing those chords, and Nick said, I'm Every Woman. I said, oh, yeah, that's it. You know, and we just had to, you know, make it be what it sounded like. And he did, you know. So, you know, sometimes if you have an assignment, you know, a reason to
Mm-hmm.
write a certain kind of song, it comes to you a lot easier than just picking it up out of the air.
Because a lot of the songs that y'all written were like upbeat songs. Like y'all kept the dance floor going a lot. I mean, but y'all had some serious ballads as well. But y'all had a mixture of it all.
Yeah, Found a Cure was in many
Yeah.
clubs. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Street Corner. I mean, y'all was
Mhm.
solid. I mean, that song, that's gotta be like one of the best songs without any music. The intro of that song is like identifiable. Like when you wrote that song, did you know at that time with everything that you all had accomplished that this was gonna be the song that was gonna stand out as an Ashford and Simpson hit?
Well, actually, Nick came in off the street and somebody had recognized him. He thought he was incognito. He threw up his head, the guy threw up his hand and said, solid, man. And then he came in to me and said, you know, that sounded like us, you know. And then we just sat down and wrote that song, you know. That was really born out of that moment.
Wow. And that was a great time of music. A lot of great music was created during that time. And then you all came back with Count Your Blessings. And I mean, the hits just kept going. What would you say the difference? Because because you've had what, 3 deals with Motown, Warner, and Capitol.
Yeah.
What would you say the difference of all working with all those different companies? Like, would say the difference was as an artist?
Well, I can only speak, well, as a writer, I'm glad I got the ability to be at Motown because there was no other president that was a songwriter himself at that point who could give you instructions and steer you in the right direction. And also, even though at that point they had we only received money as writers and they were the publisher, but he re-recorded the song so many times, which is why I believe they've lasted so long. Songs have lasted because he always found somebody else to record your song. You know, we have lots of recordings of different artists singing Ain't No Mountain High Enough at Motown. So that's a big blessing, and it makes your song stay popular.
True.
So I actually like the Motown experience. I learned everything from that. I mean, from being down in the basement with those guys, and I played all the piano for all of our sessions and stuff. So I learned so much at Motown. I'll never forget that, and then I was glad that when we left there, we left in good stead. You know what I mean? We went back and did the Boss album. We did a Dynamic Superiors album after we left. You know what I mean? So I believe, you should try to live out your contracts if you can. You make a deal, try to live it out. Don't make it
that's a big thing right there, because people be trying to get out them deals after the first song. They be complaining on Instagram.
Right? But I tried not to make enemies along the way. So I kept relationships with everybody we work with.
That's key. And you've had hits with every company that you was on. That's why I asked the question, because like a lot of people move labels and then the hits stop coming.
Well, they try to scare you. They try to tell us if you leave Motown, they'll never find you after that, But
they found you big time at Warner Brothers, and then you left Warner Brothers and went to Capitol.
We were blessed.
Woo! You worked with legendary artists like Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell. Like, what was that experience like? Did you all know that you were creating magic at that time when you was just in the creative process working, or were you even working with them, or you wrote the songs first and then you presented them to them and they picked them? Like, what was that process like?
Well, the first song that we gave to Motown was Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and Johnny Bristol and Harvey Fuqua produced it. But we knew that was a hit because we had played the song for Dusty Springfield and didn't give it to her because we knew it was a hit.
Did it land on the
we wanted that to be,
Did it land on the artist you wanted it to be?
Yeah, Marvin and Tammy. We wanted them to have it. And it was just easy after that. And then we did Your Precious Love. And then we realized that we could produce because we were giving them great demos. So we asked for a production deal, which we got. And then that's when we did Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing. That was the start of us as producers at Motown. And it was just really, Barry would put us right next to Holland Ocean Holland or Norman Whitfield, and you'd hear what they were doing. And it would be so good that you had to just like sharpen up whatever it was you were doing. So it was like going to musical college, really. It was great.
I bet. They had the greatest everything over there.
Yeah, and the artists to do it.
Exactly.
People always say, like, why didn't y'all do Ain't No Mountain? If you have a hit song, you can go a lot further if you have a carrier. And you get an artist like Marvin and Tammy or Dinah Ross, that's a carrier. Valerie and Nick could not carry that song the way they can.
They carried it where they needed to carry to, right? To the artist. So when it was time to remake Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Ain't No Mountain High Enough for Dinah Ross, because that's the same song as because Marvin Gaye and them did Ain't No Mountain High Enough too, right?
Yeah. It was the same, but we at that time people were doing longer songs. We were in the 3-minute song category. All the little Motown songs we wrote, but now you got Isaac Hayes doing long songs, and so it was time for us to get it together. So we picked Ain't No Mountain because Nick said he liked her speaking voice,
Oh,
Wrote
okay.
some new talking things in the front, and then we extended the song, and we didn't even go to the punch until the end. In fact, that's why Barry didn't like it. He did not like it. Ain't no mountain on Diana. He said
What?
that it took us too long to hit the chorus to what the song is about.
How did she feel about the speaking? Cause in the song like that, cause she's spoken other songs as well, and like and some I think someday we'll be together, someday we'll be free. Well, I'm saying someday
I'm
we'll
talking
be.
about Barry.
Okay.
Barry, he turned us down for the release, the immediate release, and went with Reach Out and Touch because he
Wow.
thought that we took too long to get to the punch. But the disc jockeys loved it, and they made it the next release, and then it went to #1. So we'd walk down the halls looking at them, say, "Uh-huh, we told you."
Reach out and touch somebody. So that song, when y'all, oh my God, when y'all wrote that song, what was that energy like? Just writing the song. I mean, did y'all feel the anointing in that song when y'all just creating it?
Kinda. You know what? It was written on an organ, which I don't know how to play.
Mm.
So we were in a big studio, and they had an organ, and I sat down and I started playing on this organ, and that was the melody. Dun, 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 dun. So that is how that song got written, because it had like a church feeling to it anyway.
Hmm. I mean, y'all have written some songs that I mean, those are gospel songs too. Like those that's the
Yeah,
song
that it's played in a lot of churches, and I'm thrilled about
that's
it.
another ching ching.
Yeah.
But this thing to see of people at the concerts when everybody come together on that song, that has to be, as a songwriter, knowing that that came from your soul and your heart, that has to
Yeah.
be such a great feeling to see in all around the world when she performs that song, or even when you do it, to see everyone come together still with that message, that has to be such a great feeling.
It is. It really is, because we didn't really do protest songs and much political stuff, but that coming togetherness of Reach Out and Touch kind of covers that area.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an amazing. That's still, I mean, Diana Ross is out of the older generation. She's my favorite. Out of the, I said she's my she's the grandma. She's my grandma.
Oh,
Diana Ross.
you better not call her your grandmother. She don't want to hear that. You
She's
see
not
how
here
she
for,
looked?
huh?
Your grandmother looked like Diana?
No, not at all.
Okay,
No,
then.
nobody looked like Diana. Was that like the imagery of the artist back then? Because they say like now the artists are dressing all kind of ways, but there was sexiness going on back then as well. And Diana Ross was the queen of that style. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about the way imagery is perceived amongst the ladies? With you being a part of such a great icon like Miss Ross and giving her those songs to be sexy on, like, do you even see that as a conversation? The imagery of the way the ladies are dressing or not dressing or whatever. Do you think that's even a thing?
Well, I think that's up to the individual. Diana, she stepped out of a group, and she stepped out of the group because she was the star, and that's part of her image, and something that she's good at. And she was built in such a way that she could carry off those kind of very sexy dresses and gowns. You can do it if you can get, if you got the looks for it, and she did, and she enjoyed it, and it became a part. I mean, look how many times she might change
Yeah.
in one concert, and the audience loves that. I loved it. It was a part of what you have to offer. You're offering. Everybody can't
No,
offer that.
they can't. So that's it, because you come from the school. You just don't come from the school. You help create the school of why of the feeling of this music, of why people even feel they can even be sexy, because she's the one that people look for like grace and elegance and sophistication and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm always curious. And then you are a situation yourself, and you keep yourself together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I always wondered what your opinion was on imagery for females, because sometimes we get imagery that is not, it's not that, and it works, and sometimes we get it in all kind of ways, and if the music is good and it fits the artist, it works. sometimes it don't, whatever. So I was always curious about that.
Well, I think, imagery it's a fine line. You got to do something that you can live with. You got to say, how long am I going to be in this business? How long, and how's this going to look in 5 years? Will I still be happy with what this outfit is? If I'm shaking my rump and that's all I'm doing and I don't have no message in the song, then, that may not last as long as something with some meaning to it. You can't just make your box so small that you can't even, see down the road.
Right.
And that's a problem, I think now. And just because you see somebody else doing it, doesn't mean that you can successfully do it. So you got to do what you can live with, because if you want to have a real career.
A real career, that's the key. That or shoot, some people will take a fake career if they can just give me a piece of it. I'll take it. No, but you have been such a blessing to the industry. You've been a blessing to the world. You've been a blessing to me. You've been a blessing to so many of us. And who's a blessing to you today? Because, do you get tired of us thanking you every week? Because we thank you every week. Because sometimes this.
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about telling them, I don't want to be thanked more than once or maybe twice. Once in the beginning, once at the end. But don't, but seriously, a blessing to me is I get blessings when I hear young people get up there and touch my heart. You know what I mean? I'm blessed when I hear certain people will make me want to go home and practice because they sound so good. I've been blessed to know some great people. Like I say, my relationships with Maya Angelou and Nina Simone and so many wonderful, artists who gave of themselves, which is why I realize it's important, if people look up to you, if there's something you can give them that's nourishing, it's important to do it, because the further up the ladder you go, the less you hear of encouragement. So I try to encourage.
Nice. And then you was also a part of the Quincy Jones experience. How was it being a part of creating and being in his world of creativity?
Well, I tell you, just losing him so recently is really hurt my heart. And he's the one. I'm glad I got to get to his house like about a year ago. I was in California for something, and something told me, go to the house. So I called and let them know I wanted to come. He said, yes, I could come. I went to see him, and I got to sit down with him, just he and I got to tell him, like I said, you got to let people know what they mean to you at all times. And I got to tell him that he was the one that decided I had a voice. I had never done solo work before. And I was singing backup on an album that he was making, The Walking in Space. And he made me the solo voice. And that was the first time I had a solo. So I didn't even know I could sing solo till Quincy Jones recognized me. And then from there, I did other things for him as well. And then we even wrote songs together, like stuff like that, and all. And then we even did songs for the Wiz movie. And so my journey with him has been so enriching that he's family. He would come to my house and eat turkey wings. And when we were writing the songs for the Wiz, we were at the other house on 72nd Street, 71st Street. And he had to spend the night and only had the one bedroom, and he was in the bed with Nicole and she was a kid.
Oh my God.
He knocked her on the floor. He knocked her out the bed on the floor. And he would tell that story to everybody, how he knocked Nicole out the bed on the floor. And, so we were really family. We went on trips together. I mean, we had a wonderful time. And I think he's given the world, everybody feels like they lost a member of their own personal family when we lost Quincy, because there's nobody can fill those shoes. Nobody.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, we've lost so many people over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like M. Toomey. I know he held a special place in your heart. Did you?
In my heart.
Did you all get a chance to I know you knew each other, of course, but did you all get a chance to work together on any music at all?
Well, he being a writer himself, he didn't need us, and we were
Yeah.
always like in competition. But what I
Okay.
loved about him was that New York Underground
Yeah.
cover show that he was the musical director for. He was the reason why we got on there. Every
Mm.
week they would feature a artist, usually a Black artist, singing R&B. And we didn't have any other shows to be on to get exposure. So it was really Mtume that did that for us as well.
Wow.
So I really appreciated it.
So
Yeah.
this New York collective, music collective, it's really something. Like it's really a great collective to be in because y'all had the
Yeah.
game
Oh, yeah.
on lockdown. Like y'all had hits on like with y'all team, M2 made. Who else was in New York doing it? Who was y'all competition back then? If do you even remember? Do you
Well,
even see
Ralph
them?
McDonald and Ralph and Bill Eaton and then they had a writing concern too,
Okay.
and Keisha. They did a lot of stuff with Bill Withers and
Right.
Grover Washington and stuff. So I mean, there were all kinds of little groups that you say what they doing over there, and we better get our stuff together.
Did
So it was very encouraging. Yeah.
y'all have like a writing family type thing with like Gamble and Huff, or did y'all all at any time come together
Not really come
to not to
together.
work,
I
but
know.
just like a friendly like type of atmosphere where this is where we're the black writers in the industry right now. Was there that type of camaraderie?
Well, we only saw each other at an event, whether
Okay,
it was ASCAP event or BMI, back in the day.
right.
But I remember they reached out, and I know Nick did "I'm Gonna Make You Love Me" with Frank Wilson for Gamble and Huff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there was a great appreciation that we had for them and then for us.
Yeah. Well, I have one more question, and then and that's it. I promise. Out of all the songs that you've written and produced, what do you have a favorite song of that you've written and produced for an artist that's not outside of yourself? Outside of yourself.
Uh, I don't have a favorite song, but there are a lot of songs that I wished had been bigger. I
Mm.
thought they were meaningful to me. Give me something real. I love that song. And babies. Sorry, let's say it.
Rabbit.
April's over here.
Babies. Oh, babies were made in heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I love the guitar riff. Yeah, she loves
Oh,
it.
okay. This is one of my favorite songs from Patti LaBelle, "Winter and You."
Oh my goodness.
I'm the one that told Christina Ray to sing that song at the Sugar Bar when she sang it. Like that song really just inspired me when I first heard it off that album. What was that? How did that even come about? Because that was like an all for one, but just bigger voice wise. Like, oh,
Yeah. Well, you know what? That song, "There's a Winner in You," is very interesting. I think we wrote it for a play that we were trying to write. But
mm.
the interesting thing was controlling Patti LaBelle is no small matter. She's got so much voice till, just getting her to sing a simple melody so that, you establish what the song, the melody flow of the song before she goes to the high notes.
Right.
So that was a lesson and a test for us. But we did it. We got her, on the melody. And she's just a great, great artist, really. She just really,
Wow.
and she still has all the voice, eons and eons of voice, very special gift from God.
Definitely. But that song is very encouraging, and that song I feel like even to this day is still encouraging people. When I played it for Christina, she was like, "Wow, like I get it." I was like, "Yo, this song is something you would really kill," and she killed it.
Mm-hmm.
But the recording was just amazing, and that's really. I mean, I can go on and on, but I know we don't have the time. I thank you so much for being
My
a guest
pleasure.
on my podcast.
Indeed.
This has been an amazing year for myself. Hey, Age, thank you. Oh my God, I've interviewed from Mickey Howard, Karen White, Glenn Jones, and I'm closing out with the Queen, who's inspired me, them, everybody, Miss Valerie. I don't know what is 2025 has to be something special coming because this is it.
All right now.
Thank you so much. And we'll be at the show.
Okay.
Supporting you and rooting you. And as always, we love you and I love you. And let me get off before I just say I love you 20,000 more times.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.